Hello YouTube, Heartless Angel here, back with another Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. Now, today we have a PU match, and I have to say, I really like PU. It's a really fun tier with a lot of Pokemon that you don't get to see used very often in the higher tiers. And today we are facing Keenen. Now, Keenen starts out with his Pikachu, as I start out with Gentle Bug the Livani. And this is a team meant to set up Sticky Web and pretty much get slow down the opponent's Pokemon for a Marowak sweep. So I do set up my Sticky Web as he goes for a Volt Switch. It does a okay amount of damage considering the fact that I do resist it. He is probably Light Orb, or not Light Orb, Light Ball, whatever the item that boosts Pikachu up to be over Raichu is. He does come out with his Armaldo, and I do stay in, actually thinking he wants to set up Stealth Rocks and go for a Leaf Storm, which actually does a really good amount of damage considering it is only a neutral hit. And he does set up his Stealth Rocks, which is fine by me. I do have a Rapid Spinner. The Stealth Rocks really don't affect too much on my team anyway. So he does show that he is leftovers. I do stay in and go for a knockoff as he withdraws into his Licky Licky, and that's great. I do get to knock off his leftovers, showing that this is a wall, and his speed goes down, although that doesn't really matter with Licky Licky. I do knock off, as I said, the leftovers. And knowing that Livani can't take this Licky Licky, especially if its special attack dropped thanks to Leaf Storm, I do switch out into Casper the Dusknoir, as he actually goes for the knockoff. Now, I'm not sure if he predicted the switch into Dusknoir, or if he just wanted to get rid of whatever Livani's item was. It was Focus Sash Livani, and he does get a crit, but luckily Dusknoir is so bulky, and he takes it. I do go for a Will-O-Wisp, just wanting some residual damage now that I know that he doesn't have his leftovers anymore. He does go for their knockoff, and I do survive. Survive that knockoff, mostly thanks to the burn. I do stay in just to sack off Dusknoir and go for an Earthquake, which does a really good amount of damage on this Licky Licky as he goes for the Wish. At this point, I think he's probably going to try to protect, but I decide to stay in anyway because even though I do have a Rapid Spinner, Dusknoir really can't do anything, can't do too much else, and switching in would have it die. So I just go for another Earthquake, even if he does protect, but he doesn't. And the Licky Licky goes down and his Wish is unfortunately not granted. He does come back in with his Pikachu, and knowing even with the Sticky Web, I'm not going to outspeed him, so I just go for a Shadow Sneak. And Dusknoir, despite this being a defensive build, shows that it really is not something to be taken lightly. And it does do quite a decent amount of damage on that Pikachu, and I'm pretty sure I do run a fairly okay amount of attack EVs, but I digress. Because of the Volt Switch taking down Dusknoir, I do get the Switch initiative, which is great as he comes in with his Urzaring. The speed drop happens, and he is Poisoned Orb. I'm not sure, however, if he was Guts or Quick Feet. I know that Urzaring isn't the fastest Pokemon alive, so something happens on later that makes me think that he is perhaps Quick Feet. I do bring in Scar, my Luxray. He is a Choice Band Intimidate. He decides to switch out his Urzaring and come back into his Pikachu as I go for the Superpower. Pikachu will fall, and unfortunately Scar will get the attack and defense drop. But Pikachu goes down, so that is great because Pikachu would actually probably do some okay damage to the rest of my team. He does come back in with the Urzaring, and not wanting to stay in, I do want to switch back out into Scar after to get the Intimidate off once more, so I decided to sack off Livani to his Facade. And Livani did its job, really had nothing else to do, so I had no problem in sacking Livani down. And I'm still at this moment, I'm still cannot figure out if he is Guts or Quick Feet. Because Facade is its stab, and it is boosted by the Toxic Orb, so it's so powerful. I do come back in with Scar to get the Intimidate off on him, and I may have misplayed here. I didn't want to overpredict and go for a Volt Switch or a Wild Charge. I just wanted to go straight up for the superpower, but he does predict that, and he does switch out into Dedenne, which unfortunately, because it's part fairy, does resist. However, it does do a decent amount of damage considering that it is part fairy. However, this is a choice banded Luxray, so I guess it's an even trade-off. I don't want to stay in on this Dedenne. I'm not sure what it's going to do, so I decide to switch out into QB my Ninetales. Fairly certain that I can handle whatever he throws at me. I do take a decent amount of damage from Stealth Rock. He does actually go for the substitute, and I'm not really too familiar with PU. I've come to really enjoy it, and we will definitely be having more battles in the PU tier, so I wasn't expecting the substitute. I do decide to go for a nasty plot here, maybe predicting him to switch out, but he actually goes for the Nuzzle, which doesn't do too much damage, but it is the 100% chance to paralyze, so unfortunately I do get paralyzed, and that slows me down a lot, but I am confident that I can take this Dedenne down. I am Life Orb. He will outspeed me now, and he goes for a Thunderbolt, and it does an okay amount of damage, nothing too major, as I go for the Flamethrower, which will take out his substitute and bring his Dedenne back. And I just stay in, not wanting to take any more Stealth Rock damage, and just want to try to get this Dedenne down as fast as possible with QB without switching out and taking unnecessary damage. So he does actually withdraw his Dedenne here as I go for another Flamethrower, and the boosted +2 with it being neutral damage and stab, the Flamethrower will take the Armaldo out, taking, he probably did just bring it into sack, not wanting his Dedenne to fall. So unfortunately from here, I'm left with quite a little amount of HP as he brings back his Dedenne, and the fact that he does outspeed his Dedenne, I'm pretty sure will take QB out this turn. And he does go for the Thunderbolt, and if I'm correct, QB does indeed fall here, but it did take out the Armaldo, so it wasn't a whole loss, and he has revealed 3 out of his 4 moves for me, which is awesome. So now I know exactly who I can bring in, which is Mother the Marowak, the main sweeper of this team. So I do just go straight up for the Boomerang, and it does show that after the Sticky Web Dedenne is slower than Mother, and that is actually why. I'm not sure Dedenne and Urzaring's base speed, but Urzaring does outspeed me later on, which makes me think that he was running Quick Feet. He comes up the Basculin, and not want to take anything from this, I do decide to switch back out into Scar the Luxray, knowing that I can take whatever he throws at me. I do take the Stealth Rock damage as he actually, I do get the Intimidate off as he goes for an Aqua Jet here. And it will do a decent amount of damage, especially considering that I did have the Intimidate down, and he's not Life Orbed, so the fact that he's going for all these Aqua Jets makes me actually think he may be Choice Banded. So he does take Scar out, which is quite unfortunate. I do come into my own Basculin here. He does go for another Aqua Jet, and not seeing the Life Orb recoil, I am certain now that he is banded. I do go for the Zen Headbutt because it is neutral damage, better than being resisted. I do get a crit. I myself am Life Orb, and he just goes for a, actually I go for an Aqua Jet here. I'm pretty sure either I won the speed tie or I'm just running Jolly, and he's running Adamant for being Choice Band. So he does fall, which is great. I will lose some of my HP due to Life Orb recoil, and he will bring in his Urzaring here, and I'm just pretty confident now, pretty sure I can take out this Urzaring. I do go for a Waterfall, outspeeding, and it does do quite a lot of damage. I thought maybe that the toxic damage would take his Urzaring out at this point, as he goes for the Facade, taking out Basculin. However, to my dismay, the toxic damage leaves him with just enough HP to survive, and I do come in with the Mother, and unfortunately, like I said before, he will outspeed me at this point, and the Facade will take Mother out, leading me to believe that he was indeed Quick Feet. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comments below. I will leave my opponent's YouTube link in the description below as well. Until next time guys, this is Heartless Angel, signing off.